So, I was standing in the corner on a street in Kiev when I saw a bunch of people walk by with a golden toilet. And my colleague Luke was like, go take some video of that. So I said, okay. Now, Luke thought I'd just take some video of them crossing the street. Instead, I left him standing in the corner for an hour. I kept walking along the streets with these protesters. They were part of the Euromaidan protesters who have occupied the main square in Kiev, Ukraine since late November. They're calling for new parliamentary and presidential elections, calling for an end to corruption and violations of free expression throughout the country. Now, keep in mind, I don't speak any Ukrainian or Russian, so I have no idea what they were saying, or why they were carrying this golden toilet. Eventually, they arrived at the place where protesters had toppled a statue of Lenin in December. Because Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych had been reported to have a golden toilet himself, the activists decided to replace the statue of Lenin with this toilet, a symbol of state corruption. Someone brought along a ladder, which didn't make it up to the top of the platform. The plan seemed to be for a big guy amongst the protesters to carry the thing up to the top, but this very heavy toilet was obviously not going to make it up, and I was worried it'd fall on their heads. All the while, back at the intersection where I left him, Luke had seen a bunch of police cars heading in my direction. My cell phone was in my jacket's pocket, and I hadn't heard it ring, so he thought I'd been picked up. I hadn't. Ingeniously, the protesters fastened the golden toilet onto the ladder, lifted it to the top, then spun it around so it sat on the top of the statue. The crowd cheered, they sang the national anthem, and then I headed back to the main activist-occupied square. It was a bizarre event, but it took me outside the perimeter of the main protest area, if only for a few minutes, where life continues outside for most Ukrainians, despite the struggle for change that's going on every day here. From Kiev, Ukraine, this is Zach Badorf for Talk Radio News Service.